Good morning. I'm Chris Cable. I serve on the board of the DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church. I welcome everyone to our service this morning and welcome visitors to our open and inclusive community of faith. As Unitarian Universalists, we hold that there are many spiritual paths to truth and meaning, and we support one another as we each explore these paths. I would like to especially welcome our guests and welcome again those who have visited us before. Visitors, it is the custom of this congregation to invite you to stand and give your name and where you're from if you feel comfortable doing so. Are there any visitors who would like to introduce themselves?
My name is Randy Pinkett, and I'm from Winona, Minnesota. I've had a long Unitarian history, so I'm happy to be here this morning.
Welcome. 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 George. Welcome to everyone visiting today. Please join us after the service for our coffee hour. We would love to have a chance to get to know you better. Our minister, Reverend Tom Capo, our congregational life coordinator, Mary Law, and all of our members are eager to meet you. Please feel free to approach anyone with a green cup with any questions you might have. Our service can be heard outside the glass doors at the back of the sanctuary should anyone feel the need to leave the service for any reason. There are chairs provided for your convenience. Please refer to the insert in the order of service for further announcements, and as we begin our service, please silence all electronic devices. Thank you.
We light this chalice for our second principle. We believe that all people should be treated fairly and kindly.
Today, we take time in our worship to attend to those joys and concerns that some of you carry in your heart. During this time of reverence and fellowship, we affirm that as a community, we share in your sorrow and rejoice in your happiness. When you come forward to share a joy or concern, please say your name so that we know who you are as you share. You are invited to now come forward to share a joy or concern with this, your faith community.
Hello. My name is Leanne. Last week, I led worship service about Martin Luther King Jr. The civil rights movement showed that people with disabilities are right. If we are a person and to be independent and equal like everyone else. And last week, I was very busy at work and a Christian command. I met one of his cousins, Teddy Jr. He lost his right leg. He believed all people with disabilities, we have to do it. And I feel so good. Yesterday, I went to American Women through the poll. We look wonderful. And I want something happening. I don't feel sorry myself, my healer. It's poor follow my mind, the host. And keep more upliftment.
Hi, I'm Steve Smart, and my mother, Ruth Smart, served in the Royal Air Force between 1939 and 1945, and talk about a healing ritual, the power of the ceremony. We weren't going to do this, but At my mother's memorial service this week, the American Legion came and proposed that they give my mother a 21-gun salute. So it was, and presented us with a Union Jack, and we're very grateful to the American Legion.
I'm Jean Alberti, and I don't know what the joy that has now evolved from a very severe concern. Bob is my significant other that we live together. It'll be 6 years together, living together, 9 years in the relationship, which is the longest for him and for me. Anyway, I had to take him to the hospital, the emergency room Tuesday night. He had low blood oxygen, and he was very weak and unable to walk from here to there without leaning on me. He has congestive heart failure diagnosed a couple years ago, so this is a complication of that. Anyway, on the next day, he was talking about this was the end. He wasn't going to make it. So I was in tears, but today he's going to be discharged to a rehab center for physical therapy, and he's doing much better. Probably will have to wear the CPAP thing to get enough oxygen, etc. So whatever positive thoughts you can have for his continued survival and mine would be appreciated. Thank you.
I'm Karen Campbell, and my concern is that I have an 18-year-old cat that we've had since he was little, and we lost his brother about a year ago, but now he has kidney failure, diabetes, hyperthyroidism, low potassium, whatever, all kinds of bad stuff, and so we're thinking we might not have him too much longer, so I'm sad about that.
I've got two, but I'll make them quick. Like the other lady, I have a dog that her cancer spread, and I had to have her put to sleep on Thursday. So that's, of course, never fun. And on the good side, my sister-in-law has been on the kidney transplant list for 5 years. She's been called into various hospitals, and she never, she's never the right match for the kidney. But she got called in on Tuesday to University of Iowa, and she said no. And they said, wait, no, you've got to come. And so, I told her the same thing. And then finally my nephew, who's 20 and kind of a man of few words, said, you've got to go. And she went. I'm the driver, so that means I went too. And she got the perfect kidney for her. It's type B blood and very high levels of antibodies, so it was like a 1 in a million thing. So, but she's got it in place, and she's, we've been at the hospital learning all about, rejection and what you have to do and all of that, and so she came home yesterday, so there's that.
Hi, I'm Mary McGinty. I wanted to celebrate the Women's March yesterday. I'm sure many of you were there. I had a great time, 300,000 they were estimating. I wanted to shout out to Mike Albrow. He and his friends found my wallet and actually in the crowd managed to get it to me. Amazing.
Tina Lynn Muley. I really want to say that I'm very happy my granddaughter, 22-year-old granddaughter Shannon, has completed her 3-month probationary period at Aldi's warehouse, and she is now going to be able to move out on her own, and her daughter is very happy. My daughter is very happy.
joys and concerns expressed and those not expressed, but very much with us.
Directly relate to people's response to trauma and pain. The words of both of these songs may be theologically problematic for some of us, but I invite you not to focus on the words. Focus instead on what's being expressed through the music. The words for both choral pieces are included in your order of service. The first piece was written by Eliza Gilkinson. Eliza said on NPR in about the 2004 Asian tsunami, "We were all just glued to the television, all of us, watching the horrific events unfold. And almost immediately there was a benefit where a lot of major stars did a fundraiser on television. And I remember I was watching the fundraiser, and I was touched by all the people stepping forward and asking for help and a donation. But at the time, I was really struck by the actual music that they were playing. I felt it was so disconnected from the event. And somehow, I was inspired to write something that would actually connect us in a more visceral way to create a vehicle for grieving the tsunami." Good morning. I am Reverend Tom Capo, the minister here at DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church. Before we proceed, we've heard about the Women's March. Could I ask those who attended to stand, please? Who attended the Women's March yesterday? Thank you so much for marching. May we continue to speak truth to power, and may we remember that resistance is never futile. Today's service will include a ritual of restoration and healing. Each of you are invited to participate. Please know that this is an invitation, not an obligation. The decision on whether or not to participate is solely yours. As we move into this time of healing and reflection and worship, I offer these words by Unitarian Universalist minister Reverend Audette Fulbright Folsom. Days will come that carry away your spirit, your spark. Bow down. Lay your head on the hard earth, and let your brokenness join the death that is stirring there. Life rebels against death, takes the very dust of our bones, and reweaves it into glory. You were made for life, and life does not intend to let you go. But rest, you can. Decay and falling away from ourselves are part of the process. If you need to fall apart, then do. For life will hold you in that too. Will teach you how to desiccate and blow away, and then call you back from the four corners of the earth, and will renew you with the water of the tears of others who, like you, weep for all that is lost. She will breathe back into you the breath that washes from the mouths of children laughing, from the lion's roar, from the exultation of the trees. You will be reborn into the arms of beloveds. And together, we all will sing a new song.
I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join me in saying our mission statement, which is printed in your order of service and projected on your left. And please remain up for our first hymn. We gather as an inclusive community to grow in character, mind, and spirit, and to transform the world toward fairness, love, and compassion. Let us join together and sing the hymn number 18 in the gray hymnal, What Wondrous Love. The words will be projected to your left.
What wondrous love is
Most, if not all of us, have experienced trauma in some form. All of us have endured painful situations. The ritual today is to provide a time of peace and healing as we live our lives in this turbulent, topsy-turvy world. Again, I mention that you are invited to participate in all or part of the ritual. Again, this is an invitation, not an obligation. The decision is based solely on whether you choose to participate. We each have our own ways to cope with grief, pain, loss, trauma, sadness. Some of us march. Some of us write letters to government representatives. Some of us choose to be the change we want to see in the world. But others of us react to grief, trauma, pain in different ways altogether, and seek comfort in ritual or deep reflection. Yesterday, many of you marched. Today, we will meditate. In this church and in this room, there is enough space for everyone, marchers and meditators, to seek peace side by side. Ritual can be experienced very differently from person to person. Some of you may be seeking a connection with other humans, some with divine or mystery or creation for healing, hope. Some of you may be seeking safety or support, while others are ready to move on and beyond and through the pain of the past. Whatever you seek, for whatever reason, you are invited to sink as deeply as you choose into this ritual. I will offer components for grounding, affirming our interdependence, for healing, for hope, for reconnection with life. Now, the first thing you have to do, for part of this ritual, you're going to speak with somebody briefly. So, I want everybody to pair up. Doesn't matter who you pair up with, find somebody. And for those who may have difficulty moving around, please be aware that we can move toward people who may have difficulty moving. But, okay, make sure everybody has a buddy. Does everybody have a buddy? All right, bring your attention back up here. You're just going to find a buddy, so we're good. Everybody got a buddy, right? All right.
Our song, Ani Ma'amin, is an ancient Hebrew affirmation of faith. The text, which is centuries old, can be interpreted as follows.
I believe in God, in a greater truth, and in things greater than this world, in spite of all that has happened. I believe that the Messiah will come, and he will find me waiting. No matter how long he tarries, no matter how long he delays his coming, I will continue to believe. No matter what the future holds, I believe.
The song has had a rich history in the heart of Israel. It gained its greatest significance, however, during the Holocaust. Thousands of Jews entered the gas chamber singing this very song, proclaiming allegiance to God until their last breath. Eyewitness accounts tell us that the music would decrescendo to silence only as the gas choked the singers.
No matter how long he tarries, he will find me waiting.
Today, we sing Ani Ma'amin out of respect for the faith for which so many millions of people died.
Today, we sing Ani Ma'amin, knowing that if we join hands and hearts and voices and sing the songs of those who suffer, we will learn that while we may be different, we are all truly beautiful. And if we, the people of the world, value all other people as beautiful, we can prevent such atrocities from happening again in our lifetimes. This is why we sing.
This is what we believe.
We who are Unitarian Universalists not only affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person, we also affirm the inherent wholeness of every being, despite brokenness. No one is a stranger to pain or to the knowledge that things break or break down, promises, friendships, sobriety, hope, communication. This breaking happens because our human hearts and our very institutions are frail and imperfect. We make mistakes. Life is messy. Situations beyond our control can impact our minds, bodies, hearts, souls. brokenness happens. We're all intimately acquainted with brokenness. Then, even as we believe that no matter how fractured we are or once were, we can make whole people of ourselves. We are whole at our core because of the great, unnameable, sometimes inconceivable love in which we live. As UUs, we believe that paying attention to something is an act of love. Witnessing and naming brokenness is how we begin to heal it. Healing begins when we examine what's in pain, wonder how it occurred, and allow it to teach us. In fact, sometimes the brokenness is immense, and the only grasp, the only power we have over that large and complicated pain looming over us is to bear witness, to tell its story, and to seek out companions and helpers who are willing to agree that yes, there is something breaking or messy in front of us, and we will not leave or even look away until the repair has begun. If love begins with attention, repair takes the form of compassion, bearing witness. As we begin, I ask you to have full trust and faith that there is inherent wholeness in every broken situation.
Let us enter into a heart space of healing and hope together. You may wonder if you need to do something special to prepare. You do not. Only keep your heart and mind open. We, each of us, are here at the edge of creation, breaking with the small tide over the sand. While the need to do good rolls away, the question of what is right diminishes into insignificance and is easily borne away on tiny waves. Here, no words are spoken and none are misspoken. We are each part of the broken stubble of the marsh grass that holds on through the wrecking wind and burning flood. We are each part of the grains that mold themselves around everything, accepting each, even our small footprint. A foot such as mine and yours sinks into the sand holding and shaping it until it feels it belongs. Each of us exists somewhere between truth and vision. And what we don't know ceases to matter, because what we do know is that the water feels gentle as a lover's touch, and that the sand welcomes all. What we have done or failed to do has left no noticeable mark on creation. What each of us does or doesn't do mostly matters to ourselves. Now, in the space somewhere between truth and vision, we are simply here, in this space, together, grateful to be touched, calmed, and healed by the immense pattern of the universe. And when we die, it will be an honor for our blood to return to the sea and our bones to become one with the sand. But today, here in this place with all of you, I am reassured that all of us are called back to life for another day. I invite you now into a time of prayer or meditation. Each of us has our own means of going into that space. You might sit up straight and put your feet flat. Let your eyes close. Take a deep, slow breath, bringing your attention to your breathing. For now, for this moment, just feel the air coming in and going out of your body. Allow whatever thoughts, emotions, sensations you experience to just pass through you as you breathe. You may notice the thoughts, emotions, and sensations, but notice them without a need to reject them or accept them. They simply exist, just as you exist. Now bring to mind an experience that you wish to offer up for healing. A pain, a loss, a trauma. Please do not feel you need to do any more than just remember it. Don't relive it. Do not let the pain overwhelm you. You can put it out of your mind as quickly as you choose. All I'm asking is for you to bring it to mind, to ground yourself in that experience so that you can move through it, through the pain to healing. What I ask of you now is to choose up to 3 words to describe that incident in your life. Choose 3 words to describe that incident in your life. Words you feel you can share with another person. Now take a deep breath and open your eyes.
In a moment, I will ask you to share your words with another person. You are moving into a space of trust and vulnerability, of speaking and listening, of knowing and healing. Be deeply and authentically present for each other. Listen with your heart and mind open. To the person who will be listening first, after you hear your partners sharing their 3 words, please say, "Thank you for taking the risk of sharing your pain with me. I hear and honor your pain. You are not alone now. You are cared for. I have projected them on the wall so you do not need to remember the words." Now, turn to a person near you, and without talking, choose who will share first. Look into each other's eyes. If you want to touch each other's hand, you may, if both people give their permission. Remember, listening partner, to say your part after your partner shares their words. Now, share your words. Now, you may switch roles and let the other person share.
We each make meaning of our many and varied experiences. The painful and traumatic experiences of life we often label as bad, void of any constructive meaning. And we use our mental and emotional energy to push those experiences out of our lives, unwilling to offer them a space within us. Making or creating a new meaning of a painful or traumatic experiences is one way to bring the self back into balance, to reconnect with the self, to feel more complete, and perhaps even connect or reconnect with humanity, mystery, divinity as you understand it, or the spirit of life. Once more, I'm going to ask you to turn your attention within yourselves. So take a moment, close your eyes, bring your attention within and take a deep, slow breath. And bring that painful experience back to your mind. You might notice that some change in feelings and thoughts about the event are different now that you've shared it with someone else. Whether or not a change has happened within, I'm going to ask you to do something with that experience. What I want you to do is to distance yourself from the experience, from that painful experience that you chose. To look at it as if it were someone else's for a moment. Perhaps think of that experience as if it were playing on a movie screen before you. With less emotion, examine the event as it plays in your mind. I will offer some words and ask you to consider how you might redefine the meaning of that painful event in your life. What words offer you a path forward? What words resonate in a positive way, the meaning you'd like to be able to make from that experience? What words offer you a new way to look at what happened? What words offer you possibility to move forward? And I'm going to share some words. As you hold that event in your mind, listen for the words that resonate, that feel that they might take you to a different place. Resilience. Empathy. Humility. strength, esteem, worth, dignity, success, awareness, insight, independence, clarity, holy, perhaps other words percolate up within you. Words that speak to you of this event that can carry you forward to a new meaning of it. Gather the words that speak to you about this event. Hold them in heart and mind. Let them rest within you. As you seek to reshape the old meanings that you made about this painful event into newer, more life-affirming meanings. You have begun a journey. Live into this journey as you leave this gathering, as you move through the coming days, and gradually, perhaps without even noticing it, you will live into a new way of being. Transformed.
Please bring your attention back to yourself and take a deep, slow breath. When you came into the sanctuary, the stewards gave you a leaf. Please get that now. If you don't have one, please raise your hand and we will get one to you. Anyone else? All right, now I invite you to take your leaf and bring it up to your nose. Crush it between your fingers and breathe in. Let this sharp, sweet smell blow through the bluntedness that your pain may have imposed on your senses. You hold the splendidness of life in your hands, inwardly grateful for this lovely day, thankful for life. From this moment on, open fully to the smile on a friend's face. Let your mind, body, and spirit awaken for the taste of fresh strawberry ice cream on a hot day, the sea splashing over your feet, a dog's sloppy kiss, the blue sky, a cool breeze, the warm sun. A small leaf is like a sacrament in your hands.
lightness of that leaf stay with you, breaking through any pain and bluntness you may have. We close the ritual with this responsive reading. Please join me in reading the italics. No matter how weak or how frightened we may feel at times, no matter the pain we may feel sometimes, no matter the brokenness in body, mind, or spirit that all of us experiences at one time or another, hope resides within each of us and shimmers between all of us. Amen.
Far too often, we are forced to confront difficult and challenging times in our lives. When these things happen, all we can do is come together in places like this church and remind ourselves that there is still hope, there is still love, and there are still good-hearted people who can look unblinking into the storm and continue to believe a calm, bright morning will come. This community is a refuge where we can keep the ember of hope alive when all the world seems intent on dousing it. And then we can use our little ember to light a beacon for the rest of the world. Our offerings each week sustain this community so we can share our small embers to light a dark world. Please give generously so that we can all together help spread that light. The stewards will now collect the morning offering.
And now it's time for us to extinguish our chalice. But let us carry its flame in our heart, reminding us of our second principle, justice, equity, and certainly most importantly, compassion in human relations. I invite you to rise in body or spirit for our final hymn, I Know I Can, 1015 in the teal hymnal. The words will be projected to your left. And bringing about healing, to join together and toil for justice, and to nurture a flame of ever-increasing love in our world. This is what we as human beings and as people of faith are called to do. May our words and our lives express this calling. I invite you to turn around and greet one another, especially those you don't know. Let us share the love of this community with one another.